Thanks for watching Java with John AZ. Very much appreciate it. This is the second of two in the exceptionally organized series that I did. The first one dealt with the physical world, clutter on the floor, anything tangible. And this one will deal with what I'll loosely refer to as the intangibles. Both of the videos showing you some practical tips on basically how to have a good life and a good lifestyle, the one that you want, just through some simple habits. And to give you an idea on what's tangible, or what I, like I said, loosely refer to as tangible, I'll start with time. Managing your time. You have something you want to get done in an hour, in a day, in a week, whatever. But we all have an end by date. We just don't know when that is. So time is your most precious commodity that cannot be replenished. So make the most of it. First thing you want to do is make sure that you know what has to be done. Make some routines. Routines build structure. And that makes for an easier flow with work, with life, what needs to be done. Prioritize. The coffee with cream, for some reason. Anyways, that's a different video. Use calendars, planners, apps, whatever it may be, to make sure you're monitoring and managing your time, your projects, your to-dos, your tasks, whatever it might be. This again builds structure, routines, good habits, which we all need. As important as all your to-dos are, you need to schedule time for yourself, family, and friends, because they're also equally important. I'll get more into that a little bit later as well. You're going to want to leave some time open for flexibility, rest time. Somebody calls you up out of the blue, let's meet for lunch, let's go for a day trip, whatever it might be. This will also help you enjoy life, because if you got time set aside, or the available time to do a day trip, do a day trip if you want to. The next one, which I think is also equally important, although not necessarily intangible, is money, finances. Money and oxygen, two things you never want to run out of. And it's not necessarily intangible, even though we tend to pay for majority of stuff with debit, credit cards, or some sort of digital transaction, but money is actually tangible in the world. So you want to make sure that you have a budget, following a budget, stay out of debt as much as possible, because that will take over everything in your life. Trying to manage finances and stay fiscally sound, financially sound, because you never know when something's going to pop up unexpected where you need the money. Create a home budget, assuming you have one for work or one either created by you or somebody else. And you have to prioritize your spending. Transportation, housing, food, definitely much more important than, buying an Xbox game. Nothing against doing that if you can afford it. If you can afford an Xbox game, go ahead and buy it. Or whatever your, hobby might be. But learn to prioritize, because if you don't have transportation fund, you can't get to work. If you work from home, you need money to run the internet. Again, much more important than something else. Pay off your loans if you have any as fast as possible. Start with the smaller ones first, and get those paid off, and then work on the bigger ones. You also want to be able to set some short and long-term financial goals. How much to save, how much to invest, how much to put in your emergency fund. Make sure you have enough money. Because again, that I feel is as important as time. You also want to take care of you, your body, mind, and spirit. Make sure that you're healthy across the board. Healthy body, healthy mind, healthy spirit. Because you want to be able to do that. If you don't have that, you're not everything else gets clouded. So eat right, eat healthy, regular sleep, exercise, meditate, pray, both. Do some fun things, learn some things. Personal development or self-improvement, work on that as well. That also takes care of you. Take a class, read a book, teach a class if you can, attend a workshop. I usually have 2 books. I read one book for self-improvement or personal development, and then I read some sort of a fun book, mystery, science fiction, something like that. So this way, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm reading to learn, and I'm reading to have some fun, mind and spirit kind of thing. Again, that goes back into building some good routines, good habits. You'll, with all that, you'll feel better, better decision making, less stress. All ties in. I had mentioned earlier about credit cards, debit cards, paying things with digital funds. Well, we all have a phone, we all have a computer, laptop, tablet, whatever it may be. We spend a lot of time on some sort of a digital platform. So make sure your files, your movies, any pictures you have, emails, all organized. Declutter as best you can, keep it organized, up to date. Make sure your passwords are routinely are correct, updated, and however you manage all your passwords, whether it was an app, pen and paper. Don't necessarily rely on your memory. And yes, I do realize that you can always say, forgot my password, and go through it again on pretty much every website or account access, but that in itself is inefficient. So you want to make sure you have that all up to date. Software typically updates on its own, whether you want it to or not sometimes, or if you're in the middle of something critical, which is annoying AF. Yes, I've been there. Remove the old files. I mentioned that earlier, but put emphasis on it, especially any apps or programs, software you don't use. Helps to keep whatever device you're using moving fast, the speed you want. The most important thing with your digital items, whatever you, again, cell phone, smartphone, computer, whatever, back up everything. Have at least one backup, if not 2. You can use the cloud, you can use a flash drive. Back up at least once a week, daily if you run a business, because you don't want to have to recreate anything, or worse, you don't want to lose something. In my case, I download my computer once a week into a very large flash drive, and I keep it in an off-site location just in case something catastrophic happens at home. Fire, flood, meteor hits me, whatever. Cat turns radioactive. That's a different story. So back it up, and again, I have 3 backups on a lot of different things because I'm paranoid that way, but with good reason. I've had a number of friends who have lost photos that can't be replaced, files that they needed that they either had to go back and get through a very difficult process, or they had to start all over again. So take care of your digital files as well. And as funny as this is going to sound, you need to do this with your family and friends as well, or friends and family. You want to make sure that you're checking on the people that are important for you, keeping up to date with what they're doing. Make sure they know what you're doing. Birthdays, holidays, important things, anniversaries, put in your calendar. That's one of the worst habits I have. Is remembering birthdays. Even if I put it on my calendar, for some reason I manage to screw it up every now and then. Don't know why. It's just a fatal flaw I have. And I'm very grateful that family and friends forgive me. Keep in touch with everybody. I mentioned about making sure everybody knows what's going on. Call, meet in person, not text. Huge difference in interaction when you talk to somebody live or when you meet in person. Yes, you can do an online face-to-face meeting. I do that with a few friends where we'll do a virtual happy hour together. Always fun, but it is still face-to-face. You need that eye contact. Excuse me. Bad weather. Makes me raspy. You want to make sure that you have an emergency contact list, and that's up to date. Same for any of your friends. If they hold on to they're your emergency contact, they need to know who to call. Same with me. I have an emergency contact list for one of my friends. Every few months I ask if there's changes, or they'll just send me an updated list whenever they go through it. I also, in the beginning of this part, I mentioned about digital files and friends and family. Well, just like old files, you need to clean out the people who are no longer keeping in contact with you. Somebody who's not making the effort that you are to keep a relationship going. Because, again, time is your most valuable possession. If somebody's not willing or doesn't want to, can't spend time with you, make an effort for whatever reason, it's time to make a decision and part ways. You might be that person as well, to decide that even though somebody is keeping in contact with you, they're not necessarily a fit for your present lifestyle, whatever that may be, current situation in life. Just keep those things in mind. And it might sound mean, but again, it's your time. Spend it where you get the most value out of it. All the things I've just talked about in this video, it's like the first one. You're making sure you have structure, stability. You're creating an easy flow for how you want your life and your lifestyle to be. You're reducing clutter, whether it's tangible or intangible, to make your life stress-free or less stressful. Bring focus, making things more efficient. So, in this case, it is all about you. Others may be involved, but you are the priority in organizing your life, your world, and how you do things. So, hope you found this helpful. I'm going to finish up my semi-warm cup of coffee. Appreciate you listening to my raspy voice. That'll change when the weather changes again. So, hope you have a great day, great week, and a great year.